Is there any new or unfinished business that may properly be presented?
Madam Chairman,
Floor member number 1.
I wish to take from the table the motion that reads, I move that our FFA chapter purchases a new desktop computer and a printer for our FFA Public Relations Committee.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded to take from the table the motion that reads, I move that our FFA chapter purchases a new desktop computer and printer for our FFA Public Relations Committee. We will now proceed to vote. All in favor of taking this motion from the table, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no.
No.
The noes have it, motion fails. Is there any new business?
Madam Chairman,
Floor member number 1.
I move that our FFA chapter sponsors a monthly podcast for the 2024 to 2025 school year, with 1 month dedicated to benefits of using parliamentary procedure.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that our FFA chapter sponsors a monthly podcast for the 2024-2025 school year, with 1 month dedicated to the benefits of using parliamentary procedure. Let me remind you, this is amendable, debatable, and requires a majority vote to pass. Is there any discussion?
Madam Chairman,
Floor member number 1.
I think this would be a really great opportunity to get our chapter out there and to maybe show the community what we've been up to and keep them in the loop. So I urge you to vote for this motion.
Madam Chairman,
Floor member number 2.
I urge you in voting for this motion because I think that this would be a great opportunity to share kind of what our FFA members have been up to and keep our community members as well as other school members updated. So I urge you in voting for this motion.
Madam Chairman,
Floor member number 5.
I'm strongly against this motion. We haven't checked our the amount of money we have in our FFA account. We need to get in touch with the treasurer and look into all of that before we even go on with this motion. So I encourage you guys in voting against this motion.
Madam Chairman,
Floor member number 4.
I am strongly against this motion as I feel that we do not have many members that would be interested in doing this monthly podcast, and so therefore it would be hard for us to do this to earn benefits for our parliamentary procedure. So I urge you in voting against this motion.
Madam Chairman,
Floor member number 3.
I move to postpone this matter indefinitely.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded to postpone this matter indefinitely. Let me remind you, this is debatable, is not amendable, and requires a majority vote to pass. Is there any discussion?
Madam Chairman,
Floor member number 3.
I am strongly for postponing this matter and killing it off. I don't think that we will be able to do this as we are extremely busy right now and have a lot of other stuff going on for the upcoming school year. And we also already have a chapter newsletter that would cover everything that would be in the podcast. So I urge you to vote for this killing off this motion.
Madam Chairman,
Floor member number 2.
I am strongly against killing off this motion. Since we just brought it up, I think we have plenty of time to further discuss it today, and killing it off this soon would be premature, so I urge you in voting against this postponement.
Madam Chairman,
Floor member number 1.
I'm strongly against killing off this motion, as he noted, as we just brought it up. And some of our community members do not have social media and do not get to see those newsletters, so this podcast will reach them so they can keep up to date on what our chapter has been doing. So I urge you voting against this postponement.
Madam Chairman,
Floor member number 4.
I move to limit debate to 5 minutes per speaker.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded to limit debate to 5 minutes per speaker. Let me remind you, this requires a 2/3 vote. All in favor, please rise. Please be seated. All opposed, please rise. Please be seated. The noes have it. Motion fails.
Madam Chairman,
Floor member number 5.
we have a lot going on in this meeting, and I think that we need to get. I think that we need to kill off this motion and get to that stuff. This is our chapter banquet that's coming up, and we have graduation. So I encourage you guys in voting for killing off this motion.
Madam Chairman,
Floor member number 2.
I move for the previous question.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded for the previous question. We will now proceed to vote on previous question. All in favor, please rise. Please be seated. All opposed, please rise. Please be seated. The ayes have it. Motion passes.
Question privilege.
State your question.
Might use the restroom.
No, you may not. We will now proceed to vote on postpone indefinitely. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no.
No.
The noes have it. Motion fails.
Division
Madam
Assembly.
Chairman,
Division has been called. We will now proceed to vote on more accurate means. All in favor of the postpone indefinitely, please rise. Please be seated. All opposed, please rise. Please be seated. The noes have it. Motion fails. Is there any more discussion on the main motion?
Madam Chairman,
Floor member number 4.
I move to divide the question into 2 parts, with the first part stating that I move that our FFA chapter sponsors a monthly podcast for the 2024 to 2025 school year, and the second part stating that I move that our FFA chapter has 1 month of the podcast donate the benefits to the parliamentary procedure.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded to divide the motion into 2 parts. The first part stating that our FFA chapter sponsor a monthly podcast for the 2024-2025 school year, and the second part stating that our FFA chapter dedicated the benefits of using parliamentary procedure. We will now proceed to vote. All in favor of dividing the question, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no.
No.
The noes have it, motion fails.
Madam Chairman,
Board member number 3.
I move to amend the main motion by striking out with 1 month dedicated to the benefits of using parliamentary procedure, so that if amended, the motion would read, I move that our FFA chapter sponsors a monthly podcast for the 2024-2025 school year.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded to amend the main motion by striking out with 1 month dedicated to the benefits of using parliamentary procedure. So if amended, the motion would read that our FFA chapter sponsor a monthly podcast for the 2024-2025 school year. Let me remind you, this is amendable, debatable, and requires a majority vote to pass. Is there any discussion?
Madam Chairman,
Board member number 3.
I'm strongly for this amendment. I don't know why we would need to donate the funds to the parliamentary procedure team, because what would they use it for? I don't know what they would need. And so we could amend it, and then if we need to, we could find something else to donate the money to. So therefore, I urge you to vote for this amendment.
Madam Chairman,
Board member number 4.
I am strongly against this amendment, as our parliamentary procedure team does travel. For example, we do travel to state, and so therefore it is better for us to raise funds to benefit the parliamentary procedure team. So I urge you in voting for this, or against this amendment.
Madam Chairman,
Board member number 1.
I'm strongly for this amendment, as I think it would be a waste of perfectly good money to donate them to the parliamentary procedure team, and I think this would be a great opportunity for our chapter to have this podcast. So I urge you in voting for this amendment.
Parliamentary
Madam
inquiry.
State your inquiry.
What is the vote on an amend?
The vote on an amend is a simple majority vote.
Thank you.
Madam Chairman,
Board member number 2.
I move to suspend the rules so that floor members can raise their hands to be recognized instead of standing.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded to suspend the rules so that floor members can raise their hands to be recognized instead of standing. Let me remind you, this requires a 2/3 vote. All in favor, please rise. Please be seated. All opposed, please rise. Please be seated. The noes have it. Motion fails. Is there any more discussion on the amendment? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor of the amendment that reads that our FFA chapter sponsor a monthly podcast in the 2024-2025 school year, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no.
No.
The noes have it. Motion fails.
Madam Chairman,
Floor member number 4.
I move to refer this matter to a committee of 5 appointed by the chair to report back on our May chapter meeting.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded to refer this matter to a committee of 5 appointed by the chair to report back at our May chapter meeting. Let me remind you, this is amendable, debatable, and requires a majority vote to pass. Is there any discussion?
Madam Chairman.
Board member number 4.
I am in favor of referring this matter to a committee so that we can further investigate who will be doing this podcast and when we will be recording this podcast to post it. So therefore, I urge you in voting for this referral.
Madam Chairman.
Board member number 2.
I am strongly against this referral. I think that we have a perfectly good committee of 5 here today, and most of us are officers, so I think that we are able to make this decision on our own. So I see no need to refer this matter, so I urge you in voting against this referral.
Madam Chairman.
Board member number 5.
Like former number 2 said, we have a perfectly good committee here, and we have multiple officers on that. But not only that, our May chapter meeting is already chock full of activity, so I think this is a bad idea. So I encourage you guys in voting against this referral.
Madam Chairman.
Board member number 3.
I am strongly for this referral. As floor member number 4 said, there are a lot of things that the committee could investigate, and they could also see that if we have the funds to record the podcast in the first place. So therefore, I urge you to vote for this referral.
Madam Chairman,
Board member number 5.
I call for previous question on all pending matters.
Second.
Madam Chairman,
Board member number 5.
I move to withdraw my motion.
Are there any objections? Your motion has been withdrawn. Is there any more discussion on the referral? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor of the referral, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no.
No.
The noes have it. Motion fails.
Madam Chairman,
Board member number 2.
I move to postpone this matter to our May chapter meeting.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded to postpone this matter till our May chapter meeting. Let me remind you, this is amendable, debatable, and requires a majority vote to pass. Is there any discussion?
Madam Chairman.
Board member number 2.
Since we are not going to host this podcast until next school year, I think that we have plenty of time to postpone this matter and still get it organized and going before the next school year. So I urge you in voting for this postponement.
Madam Chairman.
Board member number 1.
I think that we should postpone this matter because our next officer team and our reporter will be doing this our reporter will be running this podcast for the next school year, and it will not be the same reporter as well this year, so we should postpone this matter until a later date. So I urge you voting for this postponement.
Madam Chairman.
Board member number 4.
I am strongly against this postponement, as I feel that we have discussed this matter enough today, and considering most of us today are officers, I think that we can make this decision ourselves. So I urge you in voting against this postponement.
Madam Chairman.
Board member number 3.
I'm strongly against postponing this matter. I don't like this motion at all, and I think that we should kill it off now and not postpone it further. So I urge you in voting against postponing this matter.
Madam Chairman,
Board Member number 5.
like I've stated before, our May chapter meeting is chock full of activities and we will not be able to get to this motion, so I encourage you guys in voting against this postponement.
Is there any more discussion on the postpone indefinitely? Seeing none, we will proceed to vote. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no.
No.
The noes have it, motion fails.
Madam Chairman,
Board Member number 3.
I move to lay this matter on the table.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded to lay this matter on the table. We will now proceed to vote. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no.
No.
The noes have it, motion fails. Is there any more discussion on the main motion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor of the motion that reads that our FFA chapter sponsor a monthly podcast for the 2024-2025 school year with 1 month dedicated to the benefits of using parliamentary procedure, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no.
No.
The ayes have it, motion passes.
Madam Chairman,
Board Member number 5.
I move to adjourn this meeting.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded to adjourn this meeting. We will now proceed to vote. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. The ayes have it, motion passes, meeting adjourned. Please rise for questioning.
All right, number one, you had take from the table.
Yes.
If a motion is not taken from the table within the required time limits, what happens to it?
The motion is lost.
Your second question, when may a motion that was laid on the table be taken from the table?
Can you restate the question, please?
When may a motion that was laid on the table be taken from the table?
In the very beginning of the meeting.
Number two, your previous question. Name 3 undebatable, privileged, or subsidiary motions that the previous question can be applied to.
The previous question can be applied to lay on the table, adjourn, and recess.
Your second question, may a member conclude his or her debate on a main motion by moving the previous question?
Can you please restate the question?
May a member conclude his or her debate on a main motion by moving the previous question?
Yes, they can.
Will you explain your answer?
Previous question ends debate, so they would be able to end their debate by presenting the previous question.
Number 3, you had postponed indefinitely. If the motion to postpone indefinitely is pending and the main motion is definitely postponed, what happens to the motion to postpone indefinitely?
Postpone indefinitely would be postponed with the main motion.
What is the effect of the motion to postpone indefinitely on the pending question?
If it is moved to postpone indefinitely, the main motion would be completely discarded.
Thank you. Number 4, you had divide a question.
Yes.
What 2 subsidiary motions can be applied to a division of a question alone?
2 subsidiary motions that can be applied to divide a question alone would be amend and refer to a committee.
Is an amendment applied to division of a question debatable? Explain your answer.
Amend the, wait, can you restate the question, please?
Is an amendment applied to division of a question debatable? Explain your answer.
An amendment applied to division of a question is debatable because they would need to explain the reasoning for amending the divided question.
Number 5, you have withdraw a question. Is the motion to withdraw a motion in order when another member has the floor?
The motion to withdraw a question is not in order when another member has the floor.
What does it mean when a motion is said to be the property of its mover?
Please say that again.
What does it mean when a motion is said to be the property of its mover?
I'm not sure.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
Madam Chair, explain to me how the presiding officer would participate in debating a main motion.
The presiding officer would leave the podium and join the floor members in debate.
Under what circumstance is a person presiding at a meeting addressed as Mr. or Madam Chairperson?
Can you restate the question?
Under what circumstance is a person presiding at a meeting addressed as Mr. or Madam Chairperson?
They are addressed as Mr. and Madam Chairperson when they do not have any other title.
Great job.